What if everything you have deemed as impossible really was possible? What have you known and believed was possible your whole life? You just didn't know how to actualize it. Come and discover a world of infinite possibilities on Outside the Impossible with Venus Castleberg. On this show, we will share pragmatic tools to create the life and living you truly desire. And now, your host, Venus Castleberg.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am so excited for my guest today. I have Kalpana Raghuraman. Kalpana is an internationally acclaimed performer, choreographer, dance mentor, and scholar. She is also a desired Access Consciousness certified facilitator, known for her sharpness, clarity, humor, and warmth. Kalpana travels the globe creating change and consciousness through her art and facilitation. She blends together beautifully her capacity as an artist with her awareness and talents as an access facilitator. Kalpana is also an artistic director of her own dance company, Kalpanarts. And welcome, Kalpana.
Hey, Venus. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. You just embody this grace, and you walk into a room and it's such a beautiful thing to perceive. And I just wanted to thank you so much for the possibility of having you here on the show today. So
thank you so much.
And it's great because we actually chose for our topic today, are you taking care of your two homes? And I really wanted to just see, where have you seen those two things come together, your body and the earth?
I think they are together all the time, but we are not necessarily aware of it, or we haven't learned to function from it. And I also, with the dancing, this is something where really, for me, the earth and the presence of the earth and the body being with the earth, it really comes out. My background is classical Indian dance, and we do a lot of stamping, and it's such a way of literally receiving energy from the earth with the movements that we make. So it's been unconsciously, I would say, I have been living that or experiencing that. And when I started to do Access Consciousness, it was like, oh my God, this is all that stuff that I was aware of. Yeah.
So when did you would you share a little bit more about that? Like, when did you start to perceive something different? Like you said, it was unconscious and then it became a little bit more conscious.
Well, there was, I'm sure people who are listening know this one. You hear a song and your body just starts to move, or you're at a party and you just lose yourself in the music when you're dancing. This moment of just totally being where we say lose yourself, but actually you're super present with yourself and your body. And I've had that a lot when I was dancing, and really not, where there is this sense of being with your body, where for me, the earth was really part of that being together. And I couldn't put words to it till I started to follow Access Consciousness classes. And then one day I heard Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, say, hey, you know that your body and the earth's body are all same. Like, your body is part of the earth's body. And I was like, oh my God, that was the energy that I was aware of. And then we have so much learned to function from our mind. And when you start to allow yourself to let go of this barrier that the mind really is, this presence with the earth and the body becomes much more available in a way and much more easy to be with.
Cool. So let's say there's somebody out there who's like, okay, this is a brand new concept. I have no idea what you're talking about. Right?
Yeah.
Could you maybe give them some ways of tipping into that? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I did a Facebook Live today. I'm in Europe, so it's a bit later here. And I did a Facebook Live this afternoon. And I was saying about how, in a way, if you look at the earth and you look at, like, wait a minute, we are, in a way, the extensions of the body of the earth, like our bodies are like an extension of the earth. Like a tree, its branches are the flowers or the fruits of a tree. We are made up of the same elements, and we respond a lot of times to whatever is occurring with the earth, although it makes no sense. And so it's simply like when the sun is shining, how many more people are smiling? Or when it's really dull and somber and gray, how much do you feel dull and somber and gray? We are so connected to the earth in different ways. And your body, if you start like this information, even like, hey, wait a minute, okay, yeah, there's we're not just stamping on the floor when we walk, we're literally walking on the earth. And it's not, a lot of times this being with the earth is perhaps seems more accessible when you go into the woods, or if you're going, for a hike where the nature is really present. But it's actually always present. We are not necessarily aware of it, or we're not necessarily present with it. But the earth is always everywhere. And so for me, this conversation is very much connected to this awareness, like, hey, okay, my body is connected to the earth and the earth is connected to me. And so where have I cut it off? Where am I not willing to be present, or where have I not been present with it? And now with the coronavirus going on, for example, I mean, how many of us have started to go more into nature or become more aware of nature? How many images do we see now in the news or through Facebook of animals showing up in the most amazing spots, even in the city, or lions coming out and sleeping and sunbathing on a street in South Africa? And it's like, hey, we are really connected. And this time, like you said, what a great day to have this conversation on Earth Day. It's like, what if you, even that, like, hey, being willing to just consider that your body and the earth are not at all two totally unconnected organisms, but are actually connected.
Awesome. Well, that kind of piggybacks on, we actually had a listener write in a question, and it was basically like, how does taking care of my body impact taking care of the earth, and vice versa? Like, how does taking care of the earth impact my body?
Wow, it's a really great question. I am honestly not at all somebody with green fingers, but I do know how great my body feels when I do give myself that choice of working with, just like working in the garden is a really great example for me. Where how do you feel? How is your body when you're actually with your hands in the, in the soil and busy with nature and busy with the earth? What does that presence, there is a presence and a relaxation that occurs. What does that do to your body? How is your body in that time? How many people do this also? Because it really is like a bit of a meditation. And I feel that when I do that, my body really relaxes. And how much is that also connected to caring for the earth, which creates like a caring for you? Does that make any sense, Venus, what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, but I know a lot of people probably have like kind of the confusion of like that I'm recycling, or I'm cleaning up trash. That's taking care of the earth. It is in a way, but I think you're also talking about something different.
Yeah, because how much is cleaning up caring? Sure, it's part of caring, right? And what more do you? Yeah, like you poop and you clean your bum, so that's clearing up and cleaning up, and that's really great that you don't walk around with it, and I hope you would do more for your body, right? Like getting a massage is like one thing that I just adore, and I travel a lot to facilitate classes, and wherever I go, like I set like a massage situation. I create it, that I can have a massage. And I know that there's this deep sense of relaxation and caring and kindness that it brings, that I allow or give time for. And, when we are in this connection with the earth, like when we are taking care of our body and we are walking on the earth with this sense of like, oh, so good to have a body. How does that change the earth? Does that change the earth? In my perception, it does. If you have all these angry, upset, frustrated, stressed out people walking the earth, how is the earth going to feel? And if you have happy, relaxed, people walking around the earth, how does the earth feel? For me, it's a big difference. And it's like, when you're relaxed, you suddenly see things that you might have been looking at like every day for 20 years and you haven't seen it before. There's this presence and this receiving that occurs. It's like, when I say receiving, it's like, for example, right now I'm looking at flowers that somebody gifted me. And it's like, when I'm relaxed, I can actually be seeing the colors or the hues of it, or, like noticing things. And I get that caring for your body has so much to do with the relaxation. Just like when you're caring for the earth gardening, there is a sense of relaxation. And so what if clearing up is cool? And what if you could, what if more is available, which gets you, clearing up is great. Like, I think many of us are clearing up house, during this Corona times. And what else is there to do and choose would be my question. What have you not, a lot of people go, oh my God, I don't have time for massages, or massages are expensive. But you don't have to do a massage. Maybe it's a bath. I'm not a bath person, although I have a bath in my house. Maybe it's taking a bath, It can be really something small and simple and very daily. What if it's not like this gigantic, huge thing that you have to do to care for the earth? What if it is in the everyday little things that you care for your body and in that for the earth?
So thank you for that. That was great. And I'm wondering, though, so we can look at beauty and we can go, okay, yeah, it's beautiful out there. What are maybe some other ways that we can receive from the earth?
I love that question, Venus. Thank you so much. Nature has, the word natural and unnatural, so much information in it. Because nature is just being natural. It's just like hanging out, doing its thing, being intense, like a volcano, or even like a bee can be so intense, or a mosquito. And it can be intense, or it can be, and there's the thing of nature being natural that in a way we have so much lost because we have learned to be in a way and do in a way. And I would say beauty is definitely one thing, but for me, intensity, and also unconditional. There is this, that when you wake up, some moment there will be light. It might be a darker day because it's winter, but there is going to be some light, some sense of lightness. And there is this thing of nature always just showing up and always doing its thing without any conditions. I don't know if that makes any, if that resonates, but it's really like, I'm not worried if tomorrow I'm going to be stumbling in the dark and I have to turn on all the lights, even if it's winter, because I know there will be a moment that I will have light. Does that, it might not be the best example, but right now it's spring, so it's kind of maybe also, that's why I'm coming up with this example. But it's like, there's this knowing, like, there's the moon, there's the sun, there's the trees. They're not working on a conditional basis. They're just like, you want my lemon, grab it. You don't want it, it'll drop, it's fine. It's not based on any outside things. It's not based on anything but just choice and doing it and being like, hey, have it or don't. I don't care. I'm happy. And I think this is such an invitation for us to choose that too.
Would you say, because the body and the earth are the same, but what gets in the way with the body from that?
I personally would say the mind, which is, of course, a big nut to crack, but might be something, yeah. For me, it's really the mind that gets in the way in a way, and we've learned that we have to listen to our mind. And I see the mind really as the filter that we have learned that we must use. It's like you need your sunglasses, otherwise you can't look into the sun. And we have learned that we must use our mind to be able to be with everything, including our body. But it's actually that keeps us from actually enjoying or being, with it. And when I say being with it, it's like, what if you can just sit and even sit and hang out and not have to be like, oh my God, a pimple, and oh, my stomach, and all this stuff that we do when we even see our body. What if you can be like, hey, body, so happy you decided to be alive today, so I'm alive too. Yeah.
So what might be a way for people to like get out of the mind a little bit more?
Well, that one is such a good one, Venus. I know that both of us know this amazing technique called access bars, which is a hands-on technique that you could receive a session or even gift a session if you've learned it, which is 32 points on the head, which literally all that has to be done is they get touched, certain positions get touched, and you get into a deep sense of relaxation. And it literally, for me, always goes into like this no mind space. There are so many ways to get into no mind. In a way, for me, dancing has been that, where I'm just, moving with my body and allowing my body to respond, and there is no mind. There is I think a lot of people have their things that they actually kind of are able to not be in their mind, and that might be biking, or that can be fishing, or, anything. And in a way, it's like, hey, what if you extend that space of no mind more and more? It's also just getting out of judgment, which is a huge one that I shouldn't start with because we're going to go into break soon. But that would be that's a cliffhanger. So
we're going to come back and talk about that. Yep, just after the break. Awesome. So we will be right back after these few short words.
Yes.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organisation, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at omtimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others, and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #alone together. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm here with Kalpana Raghuraman, and we're talking about, are you taking care of your 2 homes? Right before the break, Kalpana opened a lovely little can of judgment, so we're going to go ahead and dive into that. Will you say more about that for us?
Well, how many of us have learned that we basically have to judge our body, that if we would not judge our body, it would become even more ugly and terrible? And, if you're talking about caring for our 2 homes, our body and the earth, does judgment really create happiness? I would say big fat no. Yet it seems to be the normal way to be with your body. And, we were talking about getting out of our mind, and that voice that you might know, that voice that goes, oh my God, why are you doing that? Or, oh my God, I look like shit. Or, oh my God, I feel so bad. Or, oh my God, did you see the way he looked at you? Did you notice? And all that judging that you do, how much does that really keep you from caring for yourself and your body? I know that it's, in the dance field, one judges one's body as a profession and gets money for it. The better you are at judging your body, the better you probably will be as a dancer, which is really a horrible truly abusive thing that we do with our body, but not only obviously in the dance scene. It's such a normal way. I always make this joke, like, I wonder what people would say if you just go, oh my God, I freaking adore, love my body. They'll probably look at you going, oh my God, you're insane. Or have you looked in the mirror? Because it's just like you have to look in a certain way to be so-called beautiful and are even allowed to be happy with your body. And that is takes so much caring away from yourself. I mean, when you then go to work out, do you work out because your body wants to move, or do you work out because you have to get slim and so you judge yourself to work out? And this is, in a way that taking trash, or what you had as an example, Venus, with the earth care, or doing protection of environment by not flying, or by certain actions that you take. A lot of that can be from judgment, and then not really caring, although it might seem like caring. The thing that we hear or might have heard, like, I'm only so mean to you because I love you so much. Yeah, that one. It's like,
Ouch.
Well, maybe we can do exactly. Maybe we can do it in a different way. Yeah, and judgments are just really hurtful. We hurt ourselves all the time, and we hurt our body so much. And caring for your body, for me, one of the tools would be, hey, what if I can judge myself? I won't say stop judging, because then you might immediately be like, well, that's not happening, so I won't even try. But start to become aware of it, and stop yourself in your tracks when you're doing it, and go, oh, stop. Okay, what if I didn't have to do this? What if I could do this differently? What else can I choose here? What else, right? Like, what if this is not the only way? What if you can become kinder to you and start to decrease the judgments you throw at yourself? Yeah.
How did you, because you came from the dance field, love to hear, how did you start to change that for yourself?
Oh, yeah, I think I had a few things. I had, my mom was my first dance teacher, which is always interesting phenomena. My mom was smart. I was like, okay, if I'm going to be like an Indian, what can I say, militant dance teacher, my daughter will never dance. So I will not force her into anything. So she gave me a lot of choice. And then, of course, you see all these judgments around moving and what is the right movement. Oh, and you got chubby, and blah blah blah. All this stuff I was aware of, but I used to believe that was also required. And then, as I started to actually get more clarity when I was happy and when I was not, I noticed a big difference. Like, when I was really relaxed and enjoying dancing, I noticed that I was not judging my movement so much. So I actually started to realize, like, hey, when I'm not like, is this correct? Is this perfect? Is this high enough? Is this broad enough? And I was more like being with that movement. I was actually, in a way, doing a better job even, right? Like, there was a joy and there was a relaxation there. And then when I started to do access consciousness, again, it was like this key of like, oh, okay, that's it. The judging part is when I was not happy and not enjoying it. And it became even more clear. And definitely have done a lot of judging when I was dancing. And I have been choreographing a lot the last few years and having conversations with the dancers and being like, hey guys, what if we don't have to judge ourselves into getting that movement right? Like, what if we can just do it in a different way? What if we can be kinder? What if we can even ask our body to get our foot there or into that position, or make that movement and make it in those 2 seconds instead of pushing our body to do it? Has been a really great way to explore different avenues of really being with our body, and like just choosing a different route to get there, to get to that space and to get to that movement. So in a way, for me, it's been really just asking. And before, I was doing a lot of mind stuff also, like, oh, I have to rehearse today and I have to do that and that and that, and I cannot stop. You have this regimen of movements or exercises, and then you're like, you're not allowed to take a break, or you can only take a break here. And there was a lot of forcing, and the less I was forcing, the more I was enjoying it. And in a way, the more I was enjoying it, the more I was doing it, and the more I was doing it, the more I was like, hey, okay. So for me, the tools of access consciousness have really helped me to become aware of where I was doing it or where I am doing it, and really to not only be aware of it, but be like, okay, so I don't have to do this anymore. Let's do it differently, and really give myself that choice of like, what if I don't have to judge? Cool, let's do that one. And yeah, it's a muscle training, right? Like how much have we all just learned to judge, and suddenly it's like we've all learned to walk on our hands, and suddenly we're like, you can walk on your feet, and it's like, what? But my arm muscles are so strong, and my finger muscles are so strong. What are you talking about? And my leg muscles are so weak because they've been up in the air all the time. It's like, yeah, but if you walk on your feet, you can see more maybe, or differently. So it's kind of like, that's how I see it. Judgment is like you're making it very hard on yourself. You can see stuff and you see it, but it's upside down and not always fun and easy. And yeah, let's muscle train the other thing.
I love that. That's a great visual.
Yeah.
See everybody in the world walking around on their hands. It's awesome.
Right? It's hilarious.
So would you be willing to share maybe even just one or two of the tools specifically that you used for people who maybe, are wondering, what do I do with this?
Yeah, I mean, one thing would be, one really what we call basic tool of access consciousness, which is not basic at all, is who does this belong to, which is a tool where you might be aware, like I'm going to use the dance. I hope it's not, you guys don't mind. I'm going to use the dance situation.
Oh, it's perfect.
Example.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You're doing a movement, and then you're like, oh, shit, maybe it's wrong. Is this right? Or, oh, I think it's wrong, actually. And then you look next to you, and it's actually your friend next to you who's like sweating and like not getting it and totally freaking out. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, I was aware of her. I'm fine. I'm having a good time here. Or you're doing something, and you're like, I think somebody's really unhappy about me. And then you look at your teacher, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's her. Okay, cool. It's not me. So we're so aware of how other people are with their body, or are looking or dealing with our body. How much are you aware of that? And so asking, hey, who does this belong to, is actually like, what am I aware of? Am I aware of my own stuff, or am I just aware of somebody else? And that can actually, just asking that question creates a lot of space, because you just identify. You have been identifying with your friend next to you who's stressing out, and then you realize, oh wait, it's her stressing out. I'm not stressing out. I'm just aware of her stressing out, but I'm fine. Has created actually a lot of ease, like in a group when we're doing a new movement, or like in my dance company, we really create from. It's not like I create movements in my dance in my bedroom or in my house, and then I go to the studio and teach them. We create stuff together with tasking and everything. And so sometimes I'm like, oh, I love that movement. Can we do it? And then add this and this and this. And then people are working on getting there. And then one person might be having a hard time and somebody else not. But then suddenly she's like, oh, it's really hard. I'm like, are you sure it's hard for you? And it's like, oh, no, actually not. I'm like, yeah, the guy behind you is having a hard time, but you're fine. So it's literally like, hey, is it really true? Is it hard? Is my stomach so big, or is it just because I've decided it has to be in a different way? Like, where is it really true for you? Is it really that? So that is one thing with the judgment that has helped a lot. And also, so many different things come up now. This question, like, hey, when you're judging, you just really put your foot in the poo-poo, and it's very stinky. And it's really like, hey, what if I don't have to choose this? Or you notice yourself, like, you're fine, and you start to judge yourself, and you're like, what happened? It's like, oh yeah, I'm judging myself. Stop. Like, literally just stop and be like, okay, this is not really, is this working? Not really. Okay, so what can I choose? And this sounds really hypothetical or conceptual, but it's really where you're like, okay, actually, I'm going to not resist the judging. So maybe I'm going to just be like, oh, that movement is so bad, so wrong. Oh my God, it sucks. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to resist it and make it go away, because then it will come back, or it won't go away, right? It's like resisting and fighting it. I'm just going to ignore its ass, because if you ignore it, you're not feeding it. And we've learned to put so much energy into that thing that we want to get rid of. It's like a guest, I guess. If you have imagine you have a guest who just does not leave, and you keep talking to him, and you're like, leave. Like, I want to go to bed now. And I wonder what would happen if you're like, okay, I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to shower and sleep now. The guest might leave, because we're like, oh, okay, you're ignoring me. Okay, yeah, I'm actually, not welcome here. So, you know, this is really also ignore it. Like, really stop feeding the beast.
Well, interestingly enough, that actually feeds into a different way of, like, I wanted to talk a little bit about, like, in metaphysics a lot, there is often a teaching that says to ignore your body, to try to get out of your body. Like meditation, we're trying to elevate ourselves beyond the body. Could you speak to that a little bit?
That's so interesting, Minas. Yeah, and it's so true. I think this is one of the reasons that, for me, access consciousness as a modality speaks to me so much, because it includes the body a lot. And, you know, spiritual systems, religion, we have so much that has told us your body is bad, or your body is sinful, or your body is a limitation. I mean, especially I would say spiritual traditions. It's like, yeah, you have a body because without a body you can't be here, but dude, doesn't it all suck? And let's do everything to not be there. And so we really disconnect a lot with our body, which in a way is really like missing out on a lot of enjoyment, actually. It's like strawberries are really nice to look at, but they're so good to eat. You know, like the taste of it, you're missing it because you're just looking at it. It's like, why is everybody, you know, what is everybody talking about? And I think that this not, this, in a way, this dismissal of the body, or this seeing the body as really like, oh, it's, your body, dude, I'm so sorry you have a body. You know, this thing, we miss out. We miss out. I have definitely also been in some modalities where somewhere there was a judgment about the body, and seeing the body as really a hindrance or a limitation. It's like a burden or a thing that just, it kind of sets, it's a setback, you know, like, oh shit, wish we could just leave it at home. And if you're willing to actually be like, well, actually, if I would leave it home, that wouldn't work. So I have it. And, you know, without the body, there's so many things we cannot do, like cannot enjoy that strawberry, or the sun, or sex, or money, or beautiful clothes, or food. There's so much that our body allows us to receive. It's a receiving or an information organism. It informs us about, like, oh, that cup of coffee is hot, or, oh, it's really cold outside, wear some socks. But it's also such a receiving organism. It allows us to relish and taste and hear and so many things beyond the senses as well. And so seeing the body as a limitation or as a problem or something that is actually really something that you have to go beyond is, in my eyes, really a great loss. And in a way, I think that you know, in a way, those modalities where we learn that we have to, you know, go beyond our bodies, it's like, yeah, but you can never really go beyond it if you haven't even, it's like, what is it? Yeah, for me, in a way, it makes no sense. I notice I can't even talk about it. I'm like, what's the point? But I'm a very body person, so, and I used to get really upset I used to have a lot of this conversations, or I would hear a lot of people talking in this way about the body just being such a, you know, like such a, in a way, such a bad thing. And, you know, let's close our eyes now and, you know, go beyond our body. And I'd be like, why would you want to do that? So it would never work, those meditations with me, because I'd just get annoyed. And yeah, it's it's like, what? Why? Why not eat the ice cream? Why only look at it? You know? So,
well, I think that there's a misunderstanding. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go for it. No, go ahead.
Oh, I just was thinking that there's probably a misunderstanding too, that somewhere we were taught that, like, being without a body was more valuable. Like, and I know that you do work with entities as well. So, what is your understanding of that? You know,
you like just that sentence that you said cut out for me. Could you please repeat it?
Yeah. So, I know that you do entity work as well.
But just before that, like, what we have learned is a misunderstanding?
Is a misunderstanding that somehow we're better off without bodies, that entities are better off without bodies. Like, that's kind of what we're taught. And I'm like wondering, like, okay, so is that a misconception? Can you say more about that?
That's a really, Yeah, thank you for the way you're asking me this question. I'm like, wow, it's actually kind of a trap, you know? Because it's like, oh my God, I wish I was a ghost. I could go anywhere. There's this song, who's that? Tori Amos has this song, Happy Ghost, I think, where she's like, I can go everywhere, blah, blah, blah. And I used to love that song. And it's really like, I could just travel for free, I could go anywhere I want. And so this not having a body, and these entities are so lucky because they don't have to drag this thing with them, and it doesn't stop them. They have all the speed and they have all the ease to, go through walls. And then when you're an entity, you're like, dude, I want to touch you. I want to taste the apple. I want to smell the flowers, and I can't. And then you're like, shit, too late. Now I lost my body. So I really think it's a trap. I never thought about it until the way you asked me now. So thank you for that question. I think we kind of, and then, so then you, all your life, in a way, you're just waiting to get rid of the body so you can be like this, very great soul or something, and then you lose your body and you're an entity, and you're like, oh God, now I know what I lost was actually the gift that I had the whole time, and I was waiting to lose. And then you do it again, another lifetime.
The grass is always greener.
Exactly.
So maybe we could just enjoy what we have right here, right now.
Love it. Exactly, Venus.
Well, on that note, we're about to take another break, so we'll come back in just a few minutes and complete our lovely conversation. Thank you, Kalpana.
The best of holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
I'm Kathy Williams, host of Sexy Mom Abundant Life radio show on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. On the show, we explore living abundantly in every area of your life. Ways to let go of limiting patterns and beliefs and to step into the flow of creativity and possibility, knowing you are supported by the universe.
Is it time to create a different and greater world? Through research, we can explore paths to new and exciting possibilities. The Hope Foundation for Possibilities and Change is a research-based, not-for-profit organization dedicated to exploring, discovering, and creating a different future for all. Your donations make this happen. You can contribute at foundationforpossibilities.com.
Well, wonderful. Welcome back, Kalpana Raghuraman, and we are talking about, are you taking care of your two homes? I'd love to talk a little bit about that, maybe a little bit more, Kalpana, if you don't mind. What are some other ways that we can take better care of the earth and our bodies? I know maybe you could even speak to like asking the body questions and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. When you just asked this question out loud, just right now, the first thing that popped for me was, be happy. So I and I was like, yeah, how would it, what if, and not like, let's pretend we're happy, or like, let's repress our upset, or let's, but it's like truly allow ourselves to have a joy in our life, even if, when something is intense or not comfortable or hard, or, like today is 6 weeks that my husband and I haven't seen each other because he's in Africa and he can't fly back home because of the corona. And it's not always easy. Yesterday night I was like, dude, this is going to suck. I miss this guy. And it's, what if that, whatever it is that's going on in your life, the joy of living can always be also there, like as the air that you breathe. What if, I don't know, I noticed, especially now in the confinement in a way, that there's been things that are going on in my life and that were not always comfortable, and still I was able to kind of be like, yeah, okay, and I want to have joy and gratitude, which is the second thing. Like, just like, yes, it's hard, yes, it's not easy, or whatever, or yes, this is sad, and I'm going to be grateful. And I think gratitude really is also connected to this question of like, how else can we take care of our body and the earth, the two homes? Like, what if you can be grateful for the fact that, what we just said, like, hey, thank you, body, for still being here. Like, hey, I have a body, or we have the earth. The earth has gone through so many things, and it's still there for us. It's still, we're still able to walk it and enjoy it. And so, as our bodies are, So joy and gratitude are, in a way, for me, two important ingredients that I have really made part of my daily life. Not like, okay, guys, I'm going to be grateful now and joyful, but more as a strengthening, a muscle that I've really been strengthening over the last few years, where I am really always looking at like, hey, what can I be grateful for, and what joy is available to me regardless of what's occurring. So this somehow for me has been, in a way, seems to be like an immune booster. Just really, yeah. It's I realize as we speak that it's actually really been an immune booster, because if you have gratitude and joy regardless of what's happening, I think there's a lot that becomes, like, a lot of things just become easier. Life becomes nicer, even if it's not always nice, and things become just greater. And joy and gratitude for your body, something, really, really available, but really different, because again, like we have learned to do, I don't like this. And what if we go, oh my God, thank you. Thank you for still having lungs that work and we can breathe, and, my intestines are working, and tummy, and, I love the poop. My poop examples are always very, very present, but it's, like all this stuff that we can be grateful for, up to your nails. I think now people who do get their nails done are like, wow, can't get my nails done like me, first world problems, and hey, nails, let's be grateful that I have nails. So those are two things. And yeah, asking questions. Well, I would say that my life about, like, a lot with the body, like, when we take care of our body with food, how much do you eat? Because it's time to eat, or everybody's waiting, or you must eat now, because if you eat now, mom will be so upset that you didn't eat her food. Like, not asking our body, although it's concerning our body, and how does that work? Literally eat, and then that, whatever awareness that is, trusting that, and it might really be like, oh yeah, or not so interesting. And many of us might forget to eat, and maybe that's just because your body is not requiring to eat, and that's why you don't think about it. So asking questions to your body for those things that concern your body, for me, is very much part of caring for your body. How often do you eat because you're just bored? And I know that this is, a very present conversation during the Corona times. It's like, I'm home and I'm eating like crazy because, I can. And if you would ask your body, you would notice that you might eat very differently, and every day different, and not at the same time, and different kind of things, and very different quantity than might be normal. But also, like sleeping. Like, sleeping is a body thing. Our body requires sleep. We don't really require. Our body is the resting, requires this rest. And how much do you go to sleep at a certain time? Because the next day you have to get up at a certain hour. And that just does not work for me, which is sometimes frustrating. It's like, my taxi's coming at 5 a.m. It's 2 a.m. Buddy, we should sleep. And it's like, So I literally tell my body, okay, listen, the taxi's coming at 5 a.m. So if you want to go to sleep, let me know. But just telling you, because don't complain in the morning to me. But we do a lot with our body on schedule and on on schedule as in timing wise, and habit. Like, for example, I had a habit, which was every morning I make my ginger tea, chai, like fresh ginger and Indian black tea and milk. And that was what I did every day. And there was no question in my world if my body even wanted that, you know? And then when I started to ask questions, and, you know, it's something that you easily do. Like, you wake up, my husband, first sound is brrr, the coffee machine, you know? And there's this autopilot that we have, that we do quickly with our body. And now it's like some days my body's like, doesn't want to have anything till 2 p.m. And some days I wake up and I'm like, let's have eggs. But really have to ask my body. Otherwise, I'd just be doing the thing that we've all learned to do, or what you learn at home with your family. Asking questions really gets you present. And that is caring, right? Like if you would just, if you would allow yourself to ask a question before you make a choice, if it concerns your body, you would be surprised actually what shows up. For me, it's been really surprising how differently I eat, or how differently I sleep, or at what times, like I can have like cereal for dinner sometimes. It's like, that's weird. And it's like, but my body just feels like cereal now. Okay, let's do it. But it's this judgment of like, no, dinner time has to be, you know, a big meal or warm, or, you know, or salads, or only salads are healthy. And your body's like, please, if you give me a salad again, I'm literally going to like make it fall on the floor and you can't eat it anymore, you know? So it's like, there's just a lot of ideas about,
So pay attention to when that happens, folks. If your body drops the food, it probably doesn't want it.
Yes, and I have had this. It's so hilarious. I've really had this with, like, you know, even a drink, you know? You're like, oh, I shouldn't, but, you know how many times do you go, I shouldn't, but I will. And then, oops, I spilled the wine. It's like, your body's like, nope, we're not having that. So it's a lot of information.
Yeah. Well, and you can even do that with movement too. Like, how do you want to move today, body? You know.
Totally. Very good one. Yeah. Like, you know, is it yoga? Is it workout? Is it running? Is it, you know, whatever? What is it that your body desires? Yeah. It's a really fun tool, and it's an easy tool. It is really a tool that gets you present with your body. And sometimes you're like, no, it's boring. It's easier just to do what we're all doing. So I'm not a party pooper. Like, you know, when everybody's eating and then you're like, I'm not hungry. And you're like, you're such a party pooper. It's like, I'll sit with you guys. And it's kind of, in a way, just allowing yourself to just have that change and find a way to make that work for you. It's definitely a caring tool, because when you start to ask questions to your body, it's like, you know, people ask you what you should do what you want to do, instead of deciding what you should do, like our parents did, you know. It's like, it's actually really nice if you include me in the whole situation, since it's about me. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, I have actually kind of a big question that I'm like, well, maybe we should say, how can people find you first? And then I'll ask you the question.
Okay. You can find me. I have a long name, but that's the name of my website as well, kalpanaraghuraman.com. And you can, I have an English site and a French site, so you can go to the English site and find out about me. And if you're curious about my dance company, you can go to Kalpanarts, but that's just with one A, kalpanarts.com.
Awesome. And I know that you're offering a beautiful body and earth connection exercise for only 25 euros. We have it posted on your page here at OMTimes, but could you say a little bit about that?
Thank you. Yes, it's something that I did just not long ago, when I was so aware of this conversation in a way, right? About this connection and these two homes that seem separate but are so connected to each other. And the earth exercise is really where we do an exercise to relax our body parts and tap into the energy of the earth and really be present with it, and in a way receive from the flowers, from the sea, from the birds, from the sun, and in a way allow that receiving to also relax our body more and connect with all those energies. It's a really yummy exercise, even if I say that so myself. But it was really something that was asking to be created quite quick after the confinement. I was like, oh my God, I this one, and yeah, it's really a nice one to do whenever you feel like. So if if you buy it, you can just, whenever you feel, even if your body's very tense or you're tired or or even you have nothing to do, you're like, what shall I do? Oh, body earth exercise. It's very nourishing and relaxing, and I really enjoyed facilitating that exercise, and I got a beautiful feedback about it, and it's very connected to this conversation that we're having. So thank you for that, Venus. Yeah.
Beautiful, yeah. And I'd love to just mention to people, I'm also doing a 30-day body bliss. Literally, we're doing 30 days of body bliss every day. So if that's something to check out, it's pretty, we're going to be doing movement and meditation and communion with the earth. And so they all just kind of feed on each other. I'm very excited. So, well, my wonderful question for you is, what is communion with earth and our body?
Well, communion is actually that there's no separation. Like, I think in religion it's like that you commune with God. I think there's like a ritual in the church called communion, isn't it? I think so. I'm not Christian, but I think there's something like this. It's really like with relationship, we do mostly relationship with things or people, which is like a distance between. And in communion, there is no distance. So in a way, it's where you like something else. And so you are actually being with it. So communion with earth way is what we have, I would say, many lifetimes ago had, like not needing to eat the fruits, but literally being close to a fruit and receiving the vitamins from it. Not needing to pick the flower to inhale and smell the flower, but actually be there and receive that energy. Like not having to ingest in a way, for me, is a very palpable, like a very concrete way to talk about it. Mm-hmm. I feel that with the ingesting, there's a separation of like, oh, that thing is there and I'm here, must ingest to receive. And for me, communion is like literally you go to, when I do this when I'm traveling. I'm at the airport and I go to the vitamin store and I just stand there and go, okay, body, whatever you require, just go for it, take it. Because we are energetic beings. And the vitamin pills are just energy as well. And this might sound like super weird, but go and try it. It's such a fun thing to do. Or, you really require a coffee. Like your body's like, coffee! And there's a long line, but you're going to catch your flights or you're late for work. What if you would just be like, hey, body, go for it. Inhale that yummy coffee smell and just get that energy. And just see what occurs if your body gets pumped up by that and like fed by that. And of course, the taste of coffee is yummy. And what other ways can you have it? So for me, communion with earth and communion with the body is this non-separation where there is no me and other. And so you start to hear things, you start to sense things, you start to be more present with things. And we have this beautiful body process in Access Consciousness, which is called restoration of communion with earth, which you do also to really restore this communion with earth that we normally have. And I will get back, it, kind of takes me back to the mind. For me, I see that the mind is this program that has cut off that communion that we used to have and that we can have again if we're willing to restore that capacity of being with our body through questions. It's a great way to create communion with your body. Listening to what does it, how does it want to move, like you said, or what does it want to eat? Does it want to eat? Communion with earth, being with the earth, being present with it, and just not seeing it as something else than you. Yeah.
It is not separate. Awesome. I love that. So what would be maybe just one, if you could have everybody get at least one thing from today, what would you like them to be able to receive?
Oh gosh, so many things. We had such a wonderful conversation, Venus. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Well, joy and gratitude might be something that I would really love people to walk away with, especially now it's intense for a lot of people, or unsettling. There's so much unclarity about what's going on. Our bodies might be aware of other bodies, so what if you can, whatever is going on, choose joy and gratitude for yourself, for your body, for the earth, and for your life. If I'd have to choose, I guess that would be it. Because in that there's like not judging yourself, because otherwise you can't do gratitude. So it's a bit of like a sneaky one. It involves the other things we spoke about somehow.
Yeah, well, you touched on something I think is good for them to know. If you have gratitude, you cannot have judgment.
Yeah, exactly. If you have gratitude, you cannot have judgment. So, the judgment conversation was also kind of an essential part of our conversation, where if you choose gratitude, judgment can't exist at the same time. So what if you would just kind of seduce yourself to choose gratitude more and more and judgment less and less? Yeah.
How does it get better than that? Well, thank you so much for this beautiful conversation on lovely Earth Day. Everybody have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you,
my
Venus.
dear.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.